Okay, everybody, I am so excited to introduce our next guest. I have Leilani Shiu here with me. Now, if you are a Star Wars fan, you've probably seen her work, just may not have realized it. Leilani, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Yes, so excited to talk about your work on 3 very popular Star Wars series. Let's dive in.
Okay, so I'm the first Jawa to be credited as Jawa in Star Wars history, starting in Mandalorian. So I'm in season 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
I'm in the book of Boba Fett as Jawa, and then I'm the first Jawa with a name and that talks. I'm Teeka the Jawa on Obi Wan Kenobi.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing. So let's just talk about, the significance about, having a name, being credited as that type of character.
It's awesome because to me it's like a role model. I mean, I'm blessed that they chose me, and just us being little, and then also, I'm Asian. It's an honor, and then, and there's Star Wars is so huge, so
Very.
So the fan base is just, it came automatic.
Yes.
And then we created new fans, like having the Mandalorian out, it got this new generation that didn't know Star Wars.
Exactly.
Our generation knows Star Wars, but the new generation, the kids and stuff. So it's awesome to see the kids playing, with Goguru and, us, Baby Yoda, and they came up with the names themselves, and it's awesome.
That is amazing. So let's kind of back up. Let's talk about how you got started in the industry, and because you've pretty much done it all.
So I've actually started doing animation. I did character animation. I did inking and painting in cells. Back then, before computers, there was cell animation. So I always wanted to work for Disney, something with Mickey Mouse. And I happened to go to college, UCSB, for animation. So I got an internship, an apprenticeship for DreamQuest, and that's James Cameron. So I did Total Recall, The Abyss, Terminator 2, Christmas Vacation,
Oh my goodness.
Fred Flintstone, the Pebbles commercial. I did that, and so I used to ink and paint the cell, and then it's so funny. I'm in the music industry too, and I did Paula Abdul video, the Scat Cat.
Yes.
So I inked and paint that. So, and then after that, I was like, when I was going to school, I was like, you know what, I'll do marketing just in case.
Yeah.
And so I took an internship at the local radio station.
Yeah.
And I was working in the promotion department, and then the promotion director quit after 2 weeks, and so they made me interim promotions director, and then I got into the music side. And so I did radio, I did morning show, so that's why I know kind of what you do.
Yeah.
So I did radio, and the head of Island Records, she loved me. She seen how I was, everything.
Yeah.
She had a group called Vibe, and she had Montel Jordan, and just about to start Montel, and she goes, you know what, I could use you.
Oh.
And she goes, how about I steal you from this radio station, you come work for me, go ahead, and I'll teach you the ropes and everything.
Yeah.
If you learn it all, I'll hire you. And I'm like, oh my God, what?
Yeah. You said you learned real fast, right?
So I started at Island Records, Def Jam Records, when Montel came out. This is how we do it.
Wow.
Yes.
That's crazy to think about, because it's like everybody knows that.
Yes.
Even no matter how old you are, everybody knows that. So what was that like to really be part of that from the beginning?
Oh my God, it's like, I didn't really, because I knew Def Jam Records. That was the beginning of Def Jam Records anyway. And I was just like, oh my God, Island Records, Def Jam. So Island is Elton John, Shania Twain, Melissa Etheridge. We started when Cranberries started, Local H, like U2 was part of Island Records. But also we had the urban side. So I was on the urban side. So I had Def Jam Records. So we had Montel Jordan, Drew Hill. So Tell Me, when they just got signed.
Wow.
And I was on the road with them. Luke, Crazy Luke, Luke, Two Live Crew.
Yeah.
So I was on the shows with him. I'd be on tour with him. It's so funny. He'd be doing his peep shows in the morning, in that night. and the day I would do radio. So I was on the road with him, and West Side Connection, Dub C. So we had Dub C, so I was on the road with him a lot.
Wow.
And yeah, so I got my start by doing that. So I'm working in the music industry about 30 years now, getting records played on the radio.
Yeah.
So that's what I do. I deal with the DJs and deal with the program directors.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty good at it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I love that. I love that. So, I mean, did you think when you were a young child that you would grow up to be doing this?
No, I always wanted to, right? Because Billy Barty, you know, I've known him since I was a kid. And I always wanted to be him because he's the most famous little person of all. You think the newer ones are. No, he is.
Yeah.
He's the one that broke ground for film industry to set little people. So
Wow.
because of him, he had me do his, like, we have little web series and stuff. So it was his little shorts. He did little TV shows. And so he had me be the Asian doll, the Asian little girl. And I would do that with him. And he had me film with. So I was like, oh, I want to be like you, you know, I was younger. But, you know, there's not that much jobs for little people.
Right.
So I didn't take that that's why I did what I did, you know. So I was in Central Casting's database.
Yeah.
Whenever they need little people, they call us. So there's not like a lot of extra work for us, but whenever we're in a specialty group, they use us for, you know, creature work, stand in for kids. I stand in for kids. So if we're the same height, they'll call us and then they'll dress us. So we're the second team because kids need to learn lines or, you know, they can't work that many hours.
Right.
So they go off, go to school, and then we have the second team. So we come in and we stand in for them. And then when they come back, when it's ready to film, we tell them where to stand and everything. Because everybody's asked me, and I'm like, it's okay to be extra.
Yeah.
You never know, you might be that one.
Yes, and I'm sure, you know, you kind of are a mentor to those kiddos as well.
Yes, so.
That is amazing.
I think so.
Yeah, oh, we know so. So, yeah, I definitely want to dive into, of course, your mentorship, and you give back in so many ways. So we are going to take a quick break, but don't worry, folks, we'll be back. Okay, Leilani, we have to talk about, you know, mentorship and leadership, and you give back in so many ways, including to charities as well.
Yes, me being small, and now that I'm in Star Wars, I think I would love to at least try to be a role model. And because of the Star Wars 501st Legion, the Star Wars groups, they do a lot of charity group and they do a lot of charity. They do it for free. So you see them dress up at Comic-Cons and different things. They don't get paid or anything, but they dress up in Darth Vader, different costumes. And so they do stuff for Make-A-Wish, Children's Hospital, Ronald McDonald House, local charities, other stuff too. And so I'm, of course, you know, honorary member. I'm actively involved. I do a lot for Ronald McDonald House. I started at Bakersfield, Ronald McDonald House, and they had me do things. And now here locally, I do for Midland, the Ronald McDonald House there. That's our local one. And I just love it, like seeing the kids, you know, like, you know, because it doesn't matter, you know, I know what our parents dealt with medically, you know, what they go through. You never know. You wake up and your kid something, or your kid is born and you don't know what's happening. Like, what do you mean my kid is rushed to emergency? So the parents don't know. So giving back to Ronald McDonald House is worth it, because that way the parents have somewhere to stay. It's all free to them. So everything is donated. They have a bed to stay. It's awesome, you know, and even the kids, they can go back when they have appointments, or, you know, if they have cancer, they need treatments, they're able to stay in the Ronald McDonald House. And so I'm a big advocate of that. I like helping, you know. So I do it with Bakersfield, Lubbock. I've been to Lubbock, and it's awesome to see. I do the Christmas stuff, and me and Sonora will be doing some stuff together. But, you know, giving back to them is great, collecting the toys. So I started in Bakersfield doing that, and now I go everywhere. I went to the biggest one in Rochester, Minnesota. I did a Comic-Con there, and then I asked them, hey, is there a Ronald McDonald House? And they have that big, huge research hospital out there. It's huge. And so I went there, and their Ronald McDonald House is huge. I think it's 5-6 stories. So I went there. I went to the children's ward first and visited all the kids. And I had the 501st with me, and they were dressed in Darth Vader, everything, so they can see them all dressed up. And here comes me in my Jawa costume, and just to see their face and happiness, they're, got to see the burn kids, and they're going through a lot of pain, and just to see their faces is amazing. What we can give back.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing, and I'm sure you get tons of questions like, "Oh, what was it like on set?
Yes.
What was it?"
Yes.
So share that with us, that experience.
Okay, yeah, it's awesome actually. I didn't know I was going to be on Star Wars until actually there, because everything is NDA.
Yeah.
So when they called me and they said, usually, you don't get fitting for extra work or creature work. And they're like, oh, we need you to go to this address. And address. So it would happen to be Legacy Effects. I found out that later.
Yeah.
And they went. And so I think that's why we were off-world Jawas, because we didn't know. We were coded different.
Okay.
I thought I was going to be in Wizard of Oz the way they coded us. Because they coded us Emerald, but with an I. So like Emerald Degassi. So I was like, oh, some cookie show, or
Yeah.
And so we were gray with red eyes. So Jawas are normally brown with yellow eyes, right? So that threw us off. We didn't know we were Jawas until we were on set. So when we get on set, here's this little people. We know each other and everything.
Yeah.
So we're all dressed up, cloaked up. They ride us in a van to set, but they take us straight to the tent. So not even on the set. So we didn't know we were on Star Wars till actually time. And everybody's asking, hey, what are we doing? Da, da, da. And then once we get on set, they had to help us get on set because we're, our outfits are long.
Oh, yeah.
We get there and we start filming, and then I can hear them say, once we put the mask on, hey, bring out the baby. And I'm like, baby? There's a baby on set. How cool is that, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So they film, and then they're like, okay, give the emeralds a break. And it's like, so when we get the mask break, I'm looking around and I see like dust and dirt, and I see like, blocks and different things. And I see droids, and I'm like, I see like a BB-8, but not BB-8, dirty.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that BB-8? And then they're like, okay, put the mask back on. And I was like, okay. So we get the mask, start filming again.
Yeah.
And then once we stop, before we take our mask off, they're like, okay, bring the baby out again. And then take off their mask. And then when they did, we see the baby rolling up. It's in a cradle. And I'm like looking at the cradle, and I'm like, and I see this, I was like, is that Yoda? But small. And I was like, is it? And then I was like, oh my God, are we on Star Wars? So I asked one of the assistants that helping me, and then they're like, yeah. Like, what?
So you finally found out.
Right? So so it's a dream. And it's like, and we couldn't tell nobody.
Yeah.
And I got to see people that I didn't know was, they didn't announce.
Yeah.
So it was great.
That would probably be the hardest part for me, is not telling anybody, because that is so awesome.
Yeah, because if I say anything, we sign things, I'll be
you'll
never see me in Star Wars again. So I had to keep this a secret for a year and a half.
Oh,
that's
my
how
goodness, a year
hard.
and a half.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. And that, of course, led to other opportunities as well.
So luckily, my daughter was on. I got my daughter on the set, which we'll talk about. And so only her and I could talk with each other. So at least I could tell somebody.
At least you had somebody.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That is absolutely amazing. Okay, we definitely have to dive into all of that, because I want to know all the secrets.
Okay.
We do have to take a little break, but we'll be back. All right, so we have to pick back up. You were telling us about your daughter. Y'all were on the set of Star Wars together.
Yes, I'm in the music business since I was working on Janet Jackson's tour at the time. And usually they just use us for a week and that's it. And they're like, okay, we're gonna be using you next week and the following week. And I'm like, what? And I was like, don't fire me. I was like, I have a daughter, little, she's just like me. She can wear the outfit. Is that okay? Can you use her? And then you don't even have to put a new costume or anything. And then let me come back, please. And I'm like, wait, you have a daughter? And they're like, done. you work for Janet Jackson? I'm like, yeah, I work for Janet Jackson. So that's how I got
That's
it.
so funny. Yeah, you can just go like, oh, you know, Janet needs me for a second.
So I was like, I gotta go to New York. I gotta Ryan Seacrest. I gotta go to MTV and stuff. And they're like, okay, done.
Yeah.
Done. But I was
Wow.
lucky. They loved her that week. They used her, and then they brought me back. And then we were the whole season 1. Basically, if you see, she's a little shorter, so you see us together. Well, in all the scenes together. So.
Oh my goodness, that is so special. That is so amazing. And like you said, seasons 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
And then what did you work on next?
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
I'm that furry Jawa where she says I dated Jawa. She's quite furry. And then I bring the part to Mando because usually I'm bringing the part to her, the mechanic. And Amy Sedaris is really funny. Shout outs to her. And Brendan Wayne. And Brendan Wayne is actually John Wayne's grandson.
Oh, fun fact. Okay.
Yeah, so if you ever want him, he's awesome. And then let's see, then I became Teeka. I got the call from Deborah Chow. She loved me from season 1. She's Chinese, I'm Chinese. I was born in Canada. She's from Canada.
Wow.
So she took a liking to me on season 1, and she had me do several things. And so I got a call during COVID.
Yeah.
Hey, Leilani, this is Deborah. I'm like, Deborah, hi.
Yeah.
And she goes, I need you to do an audition for me. Can you do this audition? You don't have to be no Meryl Streep. I still remember that. And then you're in. And I'm like, okay. So then I did the takes with my son, and then she's like, okay, they're gonna call you, my assistant's gonna call you and everything. So I get to fitting, and once I get there, they're acting different to me.
Oh.
And I was like, because I thought it was just regular, just being, a Jawa.
Yeah.
And then I was like, why are you making me a new outfit? You have like 7 outfits of me with my name on it. And I was like, do you realize who you are? And I was like, and they're like, are you hungry? Everything. And they don't do this in fitting.
Yeah.
And I was like, why are you acting funny? No, I'm fine. Are you thirsty? No. And they're like, do you know who you're working with? And I'm like, no. And they're like, you know who the code name is? And I'm like, no. You're working with Ewan McGregor. What?
Oh my goodness.
So I didn't know when I'm reading the script, I didn't know
Yeah.
it was going to be me and Kenobi together. So
That is so amazing. Yeah, so what was that like? Because you had the mask on, so you can't.
Yes. Oh my God, he is awesome. It was during COVID.
Yeah.
And so at the time, he was very particular of touching things and everything when we were in the cave. But he became a liking to me, so he really loved me. And he's awesome. And he even says it in his interviews, my Jawa, because he was happy that he finally got a Jawa, his own Jawa.
That is amazing.
Yes,
That's amazing.
I love Ewan McGregor. He's awesome.
Oh, that is so cool. And of course, that has led to so many opportunities.
Yes.
We've talked about some of your travels. I mean, you've been to
Dubai, yes. Dubai, Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Canada, London, you name it. All over the world, this has taken me. And it's great to be part of the Star Wars universe. Hopefully, I'll still be in it forever. And I love it. And I have a game coming out. Out of Bahrain. It's on Steam right now. You can, it's called Catatonic. I'm going to be Katrina the cat, like Felix the cat, but female version. So it's a game coming out next year. It's on Steam right now. And then I might be maybe a Transformer. So
oh my goodness.
Working on some other stuff.
That is so cool. And that leads us back really full circle. Like you said, being a little person and paving the way and being a role model. I mean, what is that like to you? What are your,
I want to see, I want people to see that we can do anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even just me being little. It can be you have autism, whatever it may be. You can do anything. As long as my parents taught me, you have your mind, you have 2 feet, 2 hands. Yeah. You can do anything like everybody else. We're all the same. And so I hope this puts a message out to people. It's okay. Yeah. If I can do it, you can do it. I worked for big major labels, Island Records, Def Jam Records, Tommy Boy. Yeah. And then, worked at big radio station. I know every radio station in this country practically, now TV. Yeah. And so, and then now in the movie industry. So, I mean, you can do anything. Like, me being in Star Wars, I'm able to call my friends, Sonora, I'm doing this. Okay.
Yes, and we're like, hey, come over. We need to talk. Yeah.
That's great.
That is amazing. So, I mean, that's got to be a lot of pressure, though, at the same time, because, I mean, you understand the gravity of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and then, it's not even a role model. I just want everybody to see, we can if I can do it, you can do it.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know?
my goodness. And I think, something that I've taken away from you is in our conversations is just saying yes to opportunities. So what would you say to folks out there who, maybe they want to say yes, maybe they have some fear holding them back? What would you say?
Don't let the fear hold you back, because that's what's gonna hurt you. If you want to do something, try. It doesn't hurt trying, because even if you fail, it's okay to fail. You'll learn from your failures. Like maybe I'll do TV someday. Look, I've done this far. I'll do something else. So you can always. We're only here for so long.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
love that. It's such a beautiful mindset because, like you said, your entire path, you just kind of kept saying yes to opportunities.
Right, and I love it, and like now I'm visiting the military bases,
Right.
and like I said, I do the charity work, and I just love doing it. And then I get to meet people like you, and we do it together.
Yeah.
And it's a group effort,
I love that kind of a group, mindset
Yes.
of we're in this together.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
such a beautiful message. Leilani, thank
you.
you so much for being with us. Do you
Of
have,
course.
you covered it all. We talked about so much and you gave such great advice, but do you have any other advice that you would like to share?
No, just if you want to do something, do it. Try.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt trying. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm only 4 foot tall, and look, people think there's no little people in my family, and I'm the first, and then it's 50-50 chance, and then so I happen to have a daughter that's 3 foot something, but then I happen to have a 6'5" son.
Oh my goodness.
So if you can do it, you can do it.
Yeah. Oh, that is just love. I love our conversations. Thank you
me
again
too.
so much for being here.
Of course. Thank you.
Okay, don't worry, folks. We'll have plenty of more sessions with her, right?
Yes,
Yes,
of
she'll be
course.
back. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us.